Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Facebook Approved Books. Let's just jump right into it because I'm sick of waffling for these intros, so let's just get into it. The Rebel Angel series by Rosemary A. Johns. I think this is the correct author. It turns out there are two series of books titled the Rebel Angel series. Miss Johns' books are more recent and seem to fit the bill of this advert more, so we're going to assume this is her work. The angel dragged me close, whispering into my ear, "Trust me and I shall worship you." I gasped, drawing back. Gabriel's eyes lit with painful hope. "Take my crown, body and soul." I caged him against the wall. My godlike powers burned bright at Gabriel's temptation to claim an archduke and future emperor, just as his rich amber scent begged me to stroke the distress sparks on his feathers and cherish him, rather than force him to his knees whilst he worshipped me. I met his gaze. "I don't want a slave." Gabriel cocked his head. "Then rule with me." My eyes widened. "Help me survive in this deadly realm and you'll have my trust. I don't need to take anything from you." "But what if I willingly give it?" Gabriel slipped his arm back around my waist, kissing my jaw. His magic sizzled from his lips in a tingling line. Here was love, not slavish worship. I desired him more, to claim him, crown, body and soul. I think books that portray angels and demons have a lot of potential, but they always get bogged down with the not safe for work romances. Take Good Omens, for example, a fantastic angel and demon dynamic that isn't weighed down by a desperate desire to screw, fantasies aside. Every time a book is aimed solely at women, it's always all about the sex. And it's like that because women buy into it. Oy vey. A Pack of Blood and Lies by Olivia Wildenstein. A girl in an all-male pack? What could go wrong? One of Liam's hands came up to my face, his fingers cradling my chin, angling it toward him. "You can't leave," he said, his voice a husky whisper. "Why not?" His warm breath rushed over my face. "Because then I'd spend my days tracking you down instead of focusing on the pack. What sort of alpha would that make me?" I lowered my lashes. "You think they'd make you track me down?" "No one would make me do it." The room was so quiet I heard him swallow. "Do you feel anything for me besides contempt? Would it change anything if I did?" Once I looked into this book, I realised it had an interesting premise beyond its advert. What the ad fails to mention is that Ness, this girl from the all-male pack, is putting herself in to gain the position as the new alpha of this pack. But that alone won't get the mums to dig deep, so you have to add that sexy content to dampen its potential or else no one will shell out for the book. Marked by Bridget Baker is another example of this. The book itself is about a virus that decimates the world and one girl's part in finding the cure. But how was it advertised? Love triangle, protective boys! The Hunger Games had the exact same problem when the films came out. Struggle between the poor and the rich? Fighting a dictatorship? Nah. Which boy is Katniss going to choose, goddammit? Speaking of the Hunger Games, Hunter's Academy by Ivy Hearn gives me similar vibes. Survive or die. It's a hell of a school motto. It belongs to the Hunter's Academy, and now so do I. The advertising seems to focus on what I assume is the capital side of things. That's the only excuse I can think of for this woman to be in such a fancy dress in such a supposedly dangerous environment. Because you know what those girls are all about? Dresses, glitter, dances, romance. Can't have a book where they're not focusing on their looks somehow. God, that sounds bad. That kind of sounds like it belongs in r/not other girls. I don't mean it like that. I mean it that it seems that the only way people seem to be able to advertise these books that are aimed towards women is to show it all glittery instead of showing the gritty part that is obviously what the book is supposed to be about. Instead of promoting the survive or die premise, we see this photo of this woman in a big massive dress, which doesn't seem to really go with the advert description itself. I don't know, it's weird, I don't like it. This week's entry into What's That Book is hashtag, yes, there's an actual hashtag in this title, hashtag The Real Cinderella by Yanessa Vargas. I'm going to read the synopsis, or what I assume is a snippet from the book that they use for advertising, and I want you to tell me what it reminds you of, because it will remind you of something. Baller 929. Hey, smiley face. I smiled. Lunch was our time to catch up on each other's day. He used to have a different username, Baller23, but he changed it not long ago and he wouldn't tell me why. I still nagged him about it from time to time, wondering about the significance of 929, but it was useless. The real Cinderella. So is it the number on your basketball jersey this year? He sent an eye roll emoji. Baller929. Yeah, that's it. Oh wait, jerseys only have 2-digit numbers. Try again, haha. The real Cinderella. Oh, lol. I will guess eventually, you know. Baller929. We'll see, winky face. Then he sent a basketball emoji, which he did like 10,000 times a day. Basketball was his thing. Sports, clearly, were not my thing. I sent back a computer emoji to signify my geekiness. I was by no means a hacker or computer expert or anything like that, but I knew more than most people in the school. Then a lot of the teachers. I was that girl most teachers asked for help when it came to technology, like hooking up their laptops with their classroom flat screens or checking email on their phones. My dad used to work with computers, so I learned my way around them pretty young. He was a programmer, and I used to sit on his lap and watch him code. Baller929. So are you ever going to tell me who you really are, Cinderella? Or is that your real name? I stared at that text. He asked me this question when we first met online and started talking last year, but I could never bring myself to tell him who I really was. We knew almost everything about each other except our real names. We were both in 11th grade. He was on the varsity basketball team at his school. Meanwhile, I was a complete nobody at mine, which is why I didn't want to tell him the truth about who I was. If he looked me up online, if he even saw my picture, he'd stop talking to me in a heartbeat. Did you get it? This has to be some sort of fan fiction of a Cinderella story, right? There are too many similarities for it to be a coincidence. The insane part is that no one on Goodreads is pointing it out. Is it just me? Am I insane? Is this not like other girls? I've been referencing that a lot recently, but all these girls belong in the subreddit Not Like Other Girls. Oh, I'm not like other girls. I know all about computers and technology. Wow. Please tell me I'm not insane here. Does anyone else see this connection, or am I just reaching here? The Court of Shadows by C.N. Crawford immediately gives me Cassandra Clare vibes, and that is not a compliment. Anika shrugged. Your appearance threw me off, and I didn't want to hurt you. I don't enjoy killing beautiful women. I nodded. You're good with murdering the ugly ones though, right? Aren't you the gentleman? Ah, I love me a sexist love interest. Who wants to bet our female protagonist will fall for this charmer without him having changed his attitude at all? These books like to portray their female protagonists as strong just because they backchat, but they always fall for the douche in the end regardless, and I really don't think that this book is any different. I mean, if you've read this book, please do tell me if I'm wrong here, but I really don't get the impression, especially from this small snippet that we're given, that this girl isn't going to fall for this guy, Anigus. I assume that's how it's pronounced. But I will admit that I'm wrong if I am. Just let me know in the comments if you've read it. So that's it for this book, guys. Remember, I have a book of my own. Link in the description. If you like it, please leave a review for it. If you don't like it, still leave a review for it. And I'll see you guys next week for the next video. Please follow my social medias, they're all linked everywhere. You could also buy my sister's book if you want, but you don't have to do any of that if you don't want to, because I don't want you anywhere near my stuff if you don't want to be there. I'll see you next week with the next installment of Facebook approved romances. See you there.